Welcome back to Chartacus. Today we're launching a new series, Chartacus in the Market Arena, where we will use the high-performing strategies section from the Chartacus Auctoratus log to find a trade and watch how Chartacus trades it. Let's get started. To be efficient here, I prefer to have both the Auctoratus page and the dashboard up at the same time. You'll see why in a moment. So I go to the Auctoratus page where we provide you with all the performance visibility into all the viable trading strategies, predictive models, and trade setups that we follow. I'll click the High Performance Strategies tab, which we like to call it HPS for short. This tab shows you what has been working over the last 30 days. So if performance continues, this is a great place to find a new trade. I personally like to pull all the tickers from the strategies that have at least a 75% win rate and an RR of 2.0 and higher. RR is a reward to risk ratio. It tells you how much a strategy provides you in profit for every dollar risk. For example, 2.5 RR means you will return roughly $2.50 ACK in profit for every dollar risk while trading that strategy in the last 30 days. Therefore, I'm going to focus on all these strategies right here in this, let's call it a quadrant. I'll click each one and copy the tickers that are shown because they have a signal today. I'll keep repeating this for all the strategies in the quadrant and paste each of these in the single section of the dashboard. Now you know why I like to keep both pages open. Let me do this and I'll get back to you in a moment. Okay, all the tickers have been copied and pasted. Now I'll click Apply in the dashboard, and only these should show up in the dashboard results. Note, there are 80 of these stocks, so I'm going to narrow it down to only stocks that are $50 or less to keep it within my budget. Enter 50, the max price range, and apply. Wow, there's still a lot remaining. That means there are lots of possible candidates to choose from today. So now we got to narrow them down. Here's my process. First, I like to look at all the charts to find the best candidates trades for today based solely on the chart. What do I look for in charts? Nice upward trends with narrow regression channels like this one. Even better if prices were consistently above or riding the 10 and 20-day moving averages. This usually means the trend is stronger. And this chart has both of those elements. Now, if there are not enough of these types of charts, then I'll find those stocks that are in an upward trend but have touched the lower and upper regression channels with consistency. Something like this. While this also means they may be a little bit more volatile, they are still in a predictable range, and if you buy them low in the channel, you can still make a good profit. Here's two examples that I do not like. Stocks that seem to have spiked up recently. Likely they've gone up on news, but there doesn't seem to be any follow-through. So that's not a trend that I can depend upon. Also, stocks that are in a declining trend, like this one. Sure, they may go back up, but why play with falling knives when you have so many other choices? All right, let me go through these charts and I'll get back to you in a moment. All right, I went through them, and here are my final choices. FINW and VIK, which I've isolated in the dashboard using the symbol box. While you'll have to make your own decisions on what stocks will be ultimately your best possible candidates for today's trade or tomorrow's trade, either of these presents me a reasonable risk to take. Which one did I choose? I'm going to go ahead and initiate a trade in VIK because the strategy has both a higher win percentage and an RR. And if you look at the channel width, it's almost $4 wide. So if I can find you the channel low and it runs back to the channel high like it's done several times in the last 3 months, then there's a good chance I get pulled out 10% in a row. It's a good risk reward. To enter, I'm going to follow how Chartacus is going to trade this and attempt to buy in at the previous day's closing price of $46.52. And if I do, I'll put a stop loss order in after that at $43.54. Now, because I'm in this trade, I'll come back every day to the Chartacus Open Trade Tracker and check on how Chartacus is managing the trade and either follow what he does or manage it myself. And don't forget to write down the strategy. The strategy I'll be following each day is called Rootus. The tactic number is 4 and the signal date is December 6, 2024. You will always need the strategy, the tactic, the signal date to follow any strategy-based trade in the Chartacus Open Trade Tracker. Remember that. Also remember, the trade closes based on how Chartacus trades it. Therefore, if I follow Chartacus using the Chartacus Open Trade Tracker, as I'm going to do, then my trade should close the same time and same way as Chartacus. However, if I override what Chartacus does, and I must follow it through using my own trade management decisions. I'll follow up with the final video in for the trade closes so you can see how Chartacus managed this trade up to the final sale and exit. See you soon.